There were 4 members in the Indian Moral Imagination Team: Dr. Abraham Karikam, Dr. Jacob, Dr. George Matthew, and Pramila Devi, myself. We have been given a 2-year-long training in which we gained a transformative and highly enriching knowledge. First of all, we learned that creating peace, conflict resolution is not a technique, but it is an art. We were, to some extent, under the illusion that technique should go into the building of peace. We thought that it was a learned skill. But the moral imagination workshops taught us that there is a lot of art in building and sustaining peace. And we had a project, we had a particular topic to deal with. As you have seen, it was presented in the skit. It was a century-old fight between 2 factions of the same church, those who called themselves the Orthodox and the Jacobite groups. And since it was a century-old cuisine, and since so many have gone to find solutions to it and failed, we were not sure how to make an entry point. And the Moral Imagination Workshop made us aware of making the impossible possible. For the first time, we came to realize that the unexpected could be possible. And it taught us about the importance of listening to the voices of all those who were involved in it. Not only to the top level leaders, but even to the grassroots people. And it showed us how to be patient and how patience pays. The technique of conflict resolution was not to be learned, if ever it's a technique to be learned in a day. It has to be internalized through a long process of waiting, listening and watching. And there comes the relevance of web watching. John Paul Lederach, the great professor, the innovative thinker, showed us the importance of spiders and how spiders make smart, flexible webs and how they are able to continue the process without stopping, without surrendering. And with that lesson in mind, we went back to our home and we approached the important people, and we realized that all of them were important. We approached the heads, the top level leaders and the grassroots level people in both factions. One of the groups was ready to accept our role as mediators, while the other bluntly rejected us. And then we produced a single text as was advised by our professors, our trainers, and we sent copies of the text to both groups, and with changes made by each, we go on revising it so that it becomes acceptable to them both finally. And then we had lunch parties, dinner parties, when people from both factions could interact with each other and talk and laugh and listen to each other. The parties, we cannot claim that they were completely successful. And after the 2-year-long workshop, what we have learned that conflict is not anything negative. Conflict has great potential to change everything, the stale, barren situation, and to bring about something new. At the end of the 2-year-long training and our continued attempts, I cannot claim that we have succeeded in bringing about any great change in the minds of the people involved in conflict. But I can claim one thing, that we have succeeded in lighting a few lamps desiring peace in the mind of at least a few people. I don't know if there is enough time in our credit to make sure that these lamps will be able to do away with darkness. But one thing I hope, that there will be stronger, younger, new hands that continue the process of lighting more lamps until the whole world will be full of light, the light of peace, justice, and healing. Thank you.
The fear turned to anger from that day. Revenge, it could be heard along the way. And somewhere in the night a soft voice would say, hold fast and dream about the light of day. Yeah, hold fast and dream about the light of day.
Friends, I want to say, for the last 22 years, Northern Uganda has not been peaceful. There has been war going on between the LRA, the Lord Resistance Army, and the government of Uganda. 1.2 million people have been displaced from their homes and their villages, and they have been living in the camps with no sanitation, no food, and they would only wait for food from World Food Program. Many children have been abducted. This has been a background where I am working. Bishop Desmond Tutu one time said, how can a religious leader keep quiet when our people are suffering? You must speak. You must give hope. You must give the prophetic voice to your people. This is a background in which the Church Religious Leaders Peace Initiative, an interfaith organization, has been formed. This organization is composed of the Anglicans, Roman Catholic, Muslims, and the Orthodox. We have been serious in this training, the moral imagination training. Me, Reverend Patrick Lumumba, the district Kadi, Sheikh Musa Khalil, and Sister Mary Nakot. The moral imagination training, we have been able to learn that peace building is a process. It's a question of building relationship. This has helped us to be consistent in the peace talks, in the peace process in Northern Uganda. One of the components of the moral imagination, we were able to learn about the role of women in peace building. And I want to say, there is power in women in peace building. We have been able to apply the skills we acquired from the moral imagination. Right now, as I talk in Uganda, in Northern Uganda, for the last 2 years, the peace talks have been going on. And our people have started experiencing relative peace. They've started leaving the camps now, going to their villages and to their homes. But another challenge we have now, because people have lived in the camps for the last 12 years. Some children who were born in the camp doesn't know the concept of a family. Now they are returning back. They don't know the boundaries of their land. So there's a lot of confusion, conflict between clan and clan. The aspect of moral imagination, which talks about relationship building, has been able to help us to mediate between these clans and tell them, the clans, that can you go back and resettle peacefully. They have been calling us, we have been going to meet them, holding meetings with them. We have also been mediating in the land wrangles, in the land conflict. The court system, the lawyers, very many lawyers in Gulu, have been referring some of these people to us, the religious leaders. They were saying, can the religious leaders help us to mediate and settle the people peacefully? We have been doing the work, and I'm happy to say the impact is on the ground. And finally, we were able to learn that there are incredible number of people throughout the world. The power of interfaith in peace building. When we were doing this moral imagination, the power of interfaith in peace building. You can see the love we have here, the love to change the world. And we are here to make a change. The change will come through you. The change will come through me. And I want to say, the love for peace has brought you here. The love for peace has brought us here. And may the love for peace take you back to your current countries. Thank you.